Microsoft Excel is full of so many different powerful, robust tools. The GoalSeek and Excel Solver tool are just two of these. During this session, we're going to take a look at working with data tables. Data tables are a way for us to interject alternative values into a calculation without having to recreate the calculation. Excel, through the use of a data table, will essentially take these alternatives and stick them into the formula, recalculating it for us. Open in front of you, I've got the example that I'm going to be demonstrating here. This is a part of the exercise file that comes with this course. I'm currently on the data table tab. Now on here, I've got a simple little table with three values: a mortgage amount, an interest rate, and term in months. Now right below that simple little table, I've got a list of alternative percentage rates, the interest rates, 7 1/4, 7 1/2, 7 3/4, and so on. So what I'd like to do here is I want to know what my monthly payment is going to be based off of these three values, 220,000, 8%, and 300 payments. But I also want to know what that payment would be like if I varied up the percentage rate. Well, we can recreate the formula that figures out the monthly payment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different times, or we could use this little table that I have right here, this B to C column from B7 to C14, as a data table, and Excel will do it all for us. Take a look. Inside of Excel, there are two different types of data tables. There's a single variable data table, meaning you've got a single set of alternatives, or a multi-variable data table, where you can do two different sets of alternative values into a formula. The example that I have here is a single variable data table. Now with the single variable data table, it has to be set up in a very specific way. The very first column in the table has to be your list of alternative values. In our case, it's this percentage rate. The second column in the very first row is where your formula, your original formula, is going to be placed. And down below it is where Excel will recalculate all for you automatically based on these alternatives and that original formula. All right, so my first step, I've got the table set up. My second step, second column, first row, I'm going to put the formula here. And I'm just going to type this one in. Equals payment, PMT, and I got the rate, my C3 cell here. It's an annual rate, so I'll divide that by 12. I've got my number of payments, C4, and I've got my present value, 220,000. There we go. Now I am going to put a negative sign in front of that PMT just to turn this into a positive value. When you use the payment function, it takes the outcome of the formula and turns it negative. You're withdrawing this money to make this payment, but I'm going to make it positive here. All right, so roughly $1,700 monthly based on a $220,000 mortgage amount for an 8% interest rate for the next 300 months. All right, so now I've got my single variable data table set up. First column, alternatives. Second column, first row, the formula. And down below, Excel's going to fill in the rest for me. Now, once that's set up, this is a very simple process. Here's the first step to actually convert this into a data table. First, I select the table from B7 down to C14. I'm then going to go to my Data tab. I'm going to go over to the Data Tools section into What If Analysis, and I'm going to go to Data Table. Now remember, I mentioned that there's two different types of data tables. A single variable where you got a single set of alternatives, and a multivariable where you can do two sets of alternative values. Ours is a single, and in my case, I'm going to use this column input cell. And what this essentially means is we're going to take this column of alternative rates and place it into this 8% area. where our formula is looking. Our formula currently gets its percentage rate from cell C3. So for my column input cell, we'll take this column here and we're going to input it into the C3 cell. So for column input cells, make sure we got C3 there, and I'll hit OK, and that's it. I'm done. Excel has taken my simple little table, that list of alternatives and that formula, and through a little bit of input of my own, telling it, hey, we're going to take this set of columns, column values, and input it into that C3 cell. It calculates all the alternatives for us. Really simple. Anytime you've got a set of what if, hey, what if I put this value in there? What if I put this value in there? What if I put this one or this one or this one? We can build a simple table and list out these alternatives and have it, Excel, calculate all of those alternatives for us. Try this out. Open up the exercise file, hop over to the Data Table tab, and work out the list of alternatives here within a monthly payment, all within a single variable data table.